What's going on YouTube? It's Don Keep It Going Charles, bro. You know, October 7th, 2025. Yeah. Uh, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't really have this shit planned today. I did not have this video planned today at all, bro. But I wanted to talk about a touchy subject right now because I know that the National Guard was just from Texas was just I guess deployed in Chicago, Chirac or whatever. But I want to talk about America and the state of its niggas, bro. America and its niggas, bro. Now, for some of y'all might get offended. If you don't like this video, bro, I suggest you turn it, but this is for my peoples only, bro. I'm not trying to be rude, not trying to be derogatory, all that. If you don't like this video, go ahead and turn, bro. But, America and its niggas, the state of America and its niggas, bro. And for a lot of people that don't know, I can't really explain it any better than Charles the White can. So I watch a lot of his videos from time to time when I get a chance to. But like I said, the whole Texas nigga nation thing, the whole new niggas and shit, the ones that don't kill still destroy, the ones that actually build, the ones that actually work, the ones that actually out here hustle no matter how, where, the ones that don't kill each other, the ones that don't despise each other, the one that's not in the mindset of killing their own brother, bro, and taking care of the community, and America and its niggas. Niggas are only born in America, bro. He's right. Niggas are only born in America, bro. If you have no connections to plantations, reservations, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what to tell you, bro. The seed of a nigga built America, bro. His seed and him and his family and the community of niggas at the time niggers were built this country. So there's a difference, but anyway, America and its niggas, bro. Now, I'm not gonna get to the whole, necessarily the word and race thing, because that's cliche. Because people sit up here and argue all day long, and I really don't care, bro. But I care for my niggas. I care for the niggas, bro. And honestly, bro, the whole situation with Chicago, my hometown, it's crazy. I left years ago, and it's actually turning what they call it, Chirac, bro. And then the whole situation with the whole Venezuelan Trinidad or whatever you want to call it, that gang and shit. They just got knocked, bro. They knocked the whole building down, bro. They got knocked, folks. They got knocked, bro. Full of the Trinidad gang, or however you say that word, bro. And then, and I've seen people saying, well, black people are getting arrested, and and I ain't got nothing against black people, but there's a difference in them two and niggas, bro. But if you black, man, you got the smarts of a black educated Negro, if you want to call it that, or a black person, you should already know what to do. You should already have your establishment lined up, you know what I'm saying? What niggas do, they gonna, all right, okay, we're gonna figure out to go in these woods, or we're gonna figure out to go get some land, we're gonna figure out to build our own community up, we're gonna figure out how to grow our own gardens, we're gonna figure out how to do this, we're gonna figure out how to do that, and then You know, and I say that because, you know, in the city, they didn't know what to do, bro. Those folks that got kicked out of the apartment are the ones that's leaving, you know. It's the same thing. But the thing is, where they gonna go, bro? That's another thing. It's the same thing when they knocked down the Cabrini Green and Robert Taylor home projects, I think. The original, the high rises, bro. Are they gonna spread out into more neighborhoods, or are they just gonna leave the north and go to the south? What's gonna happen in Chicago? What's gonna happen, bro? Is there gonna be a reverse of a black migration, bro? Are black people gonna revert back to the south, mid south? Probably not. Probably, but for all my niggas out there, bro, I'm just telling you right now, bro. Just try to stay out of jail, bro. Stay out of jail. Stay out the way. Make your money, bro. Try not to kill nobody. Don't, try not to get into crossfires with people, Cause it's a lot of us in the neck of these woods, bro. It's a lot of us needle in a haystack. It's a lot of decent niggas out there, bro. And shit, man. Yeah. I know it's hard because we got people down our necks. We got people wanting us to downfall. People killing us left and right and shit, bro. It's pitiful, bro. How can I best put it? I don't really listen to the dude like that, but Dr. Boyce Watkins once said, a black man's life in a nutshell. Imagine you got a football in your hand and you're going against every single team on that field. You're going against every single team in the NFL just to get that touchdown, bro. A black man's life in a nutshell, bro. You got that one football in your hand. You're the only person with that football in your hand. You're going against every team. You're the only nigga on the field, bro. You by yourself. You're going against every team just to get that one touchdown, bro. That's a black man's life in a nutshell, bro. But, yeah. A lot of people like to discredit niggas and shit, or this black fatigue shit, And I ain't, I know I ain't nobody. This is just a little video, and I say all that to say because I seen that video that went viral, the whole Fresh and Fit session, the video session, where half them girls walked off the set because they let that white dude say some ignorant shit out of his mouth to that, that young black woman, antagonizing her. I've seen a lot of people's other reaction to it. I ain't gonna say any names, but it was put out there to the world, and I still can't believe why the whole Fresh and Fit situation. I still can't believe. I'm not gonna even say their names on here, bro. I can't believe that happened, bro. Y'all sat here and let this dude call this young woman a whole N-word and shit, and then y'all up here antagonize her. Well, she says she's out there for content. Just because she's quiet, she's probably respecting the game and learning a little bit without being disrespectful towards anybody on that podcast. You know what I'm saying? Calling her the whole R word, and then you got the frontiersmen of the podcast who are black and brown descent. And I don't think they're from America. I think one of them's like Indian or something like that, black. The other one's like Nigerian or some shit like that. And then I don't care if he sees this video and they put it up. Oh yeah, he's only got so many viewers. I really don't care, bro. I'm talking about the niggas, bro. Yeah, I'll go there, bro. Y'all didn't let that dude call that girl nigger. Before she even walked out, he asked, "Can I say it? Can I say it?" And then before he even said that, the girl was like, "All right, I'll properly walk out." She didn't disrupt anything. She didn't get ghetto. She didn't do none of that shit. Y'all just went straight disrespectful, bro. That's some demonic ass shit, bro. That's catering, bro. You're catering to a certain audience, bro. What happened to y'all's podcast, bro? Y'all used to just figure out how women were changed their way of thinking when it came to dating and financial. And now it's just like y'all just catering, bro. And it's not even about a white. It's not even about a white thing, you know. It's not a white thing. It's really a social thing at the end of the day, because that's what it was based on, and dating and shit. And then like finding out this dude just caters to like a certain audience, and it's not even about race or anything, and they still want to accept you, bro. They didn't kick you out. They put that shit on live internet, on live social media. They didn't talked about this man, the main man that owns the studio and does the podcast. You know, I ain't trying to talk shit about him, but hey, they didn't post that shit like, you're not one of us, bro. No matter how hard you try. Just like you didn't come from a seat of a nigga, bro. But at the same time, ain't no nigga just gonna sit back and let y'all just disrespect that girl like that, bro. And and I saw that white girl left out too. Half y'all's audience, or those girls that were sitting there, majority of them was black, and they walked the fuck out, bro. Don't let y'all lose a black female fan audience, bro. Because there's a lot of them that watch y'all's video. They probably don't support y'all. Some of them probably do. But damn, bro, y'all niggas gotta do better, bro. Damn, man, shit. So you came out a whole girl's neck like that on the show, antagonize her. Why are you on the show? Because I was invited. And she was probably there just to learn and see how this shit go at its highest form with two black and brown individual, well known in the podcast world of dating and finance. But now there's not even that, because you got one dude on there who's trying to cater to a certain audience that put on live social media. They don't accept his ass. Well, nigga, let me tell you something, bro. I've dealt with that my whole life, but I ain't never tried to cater. I ain't never tried. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you one thing that stuck with me that's how I know I'm a nigga, bro. I'm gonna tell you, bro. That's how I know, bro. Maybe it's not the best example, but trust me, I've been called a hard R word and all that bullshit, like probably one time or whatever. But I sat there one day, bro. I'm at my grandparents' house, and mind you, they own land and shit. And I used to go over there every weekend. I used to work on the garden, plant foods, haul dirt, help with the lawn and tractors and all that shit or whatever. My grandparents and stuff like that. You know, I'm damn near knocking down trees with my bare hands, axing all that shit and show all that shit, bro. And one day I didn't have to work because I think it was a Saturday. You know, my grandpa's in the whole, not my grandpa, but my step grandfather. He's in the whole Hebrew Israelite thing. I'm not a part. I'm all for niggas and niggism, bro. I believe in niggism. That's what I believe in, niggism, bro. Nigga nation, bro. As an individual, bro. But shit. One day I walked in and my cousin was in the front room. I'm like. And at the time, I was just like, when you're younger, you just want to be everything. You're spontaneous. You think you're smart. You think you know everything, the whole nine, bro. And you really don't. But it was kind of in a good way. I was like, damn, man, I'm gonna be a politician one day. And I looked at him. He looked at me. He said, boy, no, you're not. I said, how come? Why? He said, bro, you too black. Your nose is big. Your lips is big, and your hair is nappy. And at first I was like, damn, bro. And the thing is, I wasn't even hurt because I was like, nigga, that's true. I didn't even tell him that, but I was like, damn. And years later, bro, up to now, and I still think about that shit. And I'm like, nigga, he's right, bro. Like, he's right, bro. My nose too big, lips too big, hair too nappy, skin too dark, bro. And then it's another thing, on Real Life Hood Stars or something like that, Street Stars or something like that. What Smack say? He say, you can't become a politician. You can't become that type of field unless they got dirt on you, bro. Real nigga shit, bro. You have to have some real devil shit on you, bro. Like, and a lot of times it don't have to be like, well, it actually is, bro. But you got decent people in the government. But look how many's in there, bro. Scared to step up and change the world, bro. You can't get in that shit unless you in some black boule shit. That's why I'm a nigga, bro. I ain't in all that rituals. I'm not in no. I mean, spiritually, if it comes to that point, bro. But I'm not into that boule, that bougie shit, that all that Greek. I know. Keep that shit over there, bro. I ain't got time to deal with that shit. I studied some of that shit before, and I was like, it is what it is. I don't really give a fuck, bro. Uh, but yeah, what Smack said, you ain't getting in that fit. And I realized, my cousin told me that when I was young, all the way up to now, watching that video a couple days ago with Smack on Real Life Street Stars or something like that, and when he said, you ain't no way you gonna get that high up in that politician world unless they got some shit on you, bro, on some mob shit. What folks say, and I ain't trying to take the words out of his mouth and copy him, but what he say, folks? And in the movie Godfather, you not putting no casinos in this club. And he asked for it. And what happened? He went back to his crib or something like that. Woke up with a dead prostitute. Mind you, what the fuck? You woke up with a dead prostitute. He had to call one of them higher up niggas, bro, to call them politician dudes to take care of that shit. Then they put the shit in there for him. Like, okay, we got, it's kind of like initiation. Okay, we see you all right. And then make that's just a tip, nigga. That's just a movie, bro. That's just a movie, bro. If you ain't did no dark shit and you not well known like that, bro, that shit cooked. Now, at the time, I wanted to be a politician because, like, I was studying about nuclear weapons. I did essays on nuclear weapons. Hell, I graduated doing a report on Marcus Garvey after, but I didn't really know much about him. I just did an essay, and they said, pick any essay or any topic you want. I said, I'll do Marcus Garvey. I passed English with like an 80, 90% graduated. Before that, 8th, 7th grade, 8th grade, or 9th grade, they said, pick a topic, English, whatever. I said, I'm going to do something on nuclear weapons. This is way back 2011, 2012. I was doing nothing but studies on nuclear weapons and the shit that can happen and the power of these nuclear weapons can be, and how many countries have it, and how many countries actually share nuclear weapons and send each other parts back and forth, and elements and minerals and shit, all that, bro. And to think this shit is going on now, bro. So hearing from what my cousin said on some nigga shit, then going all the way up to this time right now, hearing that video yesterday, it's like, bro, fit in where you can only fit in where you can fit in, bro. Don't try to force it, bro. And don't try to talk down on niggas, bro. Don't try to talk down on niggas at all, bro. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it too, because I'm gonna try not to separate the group. But you know, black people, don't try to talk down on black people, bro. And from all my niggas out there, all those people out there that don't know the difference between niggas and black people, watch one of Charleston White's videos, bro. Because a lot of times they'll tell you the word NIGGR means ignorant. No, it don't. The hard R, that word does not mean ignorant. Maybe these new niggas today ignorant. But the ones that were called the N-word because they didn't have a name back then, that's the only thing they were called. Them the ones that built this country, bro. Do your history, bro. Them was I like to say this too. And even before we came plantation workers or whatever you want to call it, bro. We were the original Mexicans. We weren't Mexicans, but we were the original Mexicans that built this country. And we built the railroads. We was out building the Asians, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? This ain't to take away from anybody, but everybody get to uplift their own race and their history and shit. But hey, when niggas got to America, they were called niggers. What did niggas do? They built, they taught, they learned, they count money. They didn't know how to read that much, but they learned. They fed the communities. They didn't shoot one another. Those are the niggers that they call that built this country. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta know the difference. It don't always mean you're ignorant, bro. Because we can never, like Charleston White said, we can never be those people back then because they built this entire country under the worst condition, bro. You think people got anxiety now and nightmares and hateful and worriness and scared and hoping Imagine what they went through. Imagine having that same shit back then, but you still told to build. You got to build a whole civilization, bro, in a country, bro. Over here, bro. And people get mad, folks. I don't understand that shit, bro. And like I said, I try not to get to the whole race thing, but you know, I'm jumping top of the topics too. But something just told me, man, I just want to speak for the niggas, bro. I never really, you know. And then when you get a little bit, and then like another thing that the black college graduation when people were jumping and wilding, doing backflips because they graduated. Hey, oh, that's ghetto. Oh, this is, and then then someone did another video of like a white college, of course, you know. Saying this is the proper. Bro, give niggas a break. Y'all gotta stop downplaying niggas. If it's a nigga shit, if it's two black people, or if it's niggas out here shooting each other, yeah, you have the right to talk shit because niggas shouldn't be killing each other. But if it's niggas and black people in one facility jumping and screaming and hollering because they see each other graduating and they getting their diplomas and doctorates and shit. Y'all still talk shit. Oh, that's ignorant. I wouldn't be in there. Nigga. Give niggas a break, bro. Y'all gotta give each other a break. Gee, come on, folks. You have to, bro. I'm just like, man, gee, like people do comparisons and this and that and this and that. Oh, I wasn't around, you know, and I get it. You know, damn, folks, y'all gotta give each other a break, folks. And while everybody talking shit, it seemed like the safest place to be back is in the hood again, bro. Shit, and I'm seeing a lot of weird shit in the hood, let alone too. So you got like a select few niggas out there that's standing 10 toes concrete, titanium in the bones, bro. 10 toes concrete, titanium in the bones, niggas, bro. You got a few of them out there. Shit, make the hood masculine again, bro. Make the hood great again. Make the hood vibrant again, shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, G, like, there's too much shit going on out here in the world for us not to collab with each other, you know? And then, like, I ain't gonna lie, and it's the one thing I've learned too, like I said, watching a lot of Charleston White videos, like, the industry, you know, the mid-level and to its highest level, bro. And then watching him go through all these business and shit, and kind of witness it with him, what people will do behind your back, and you got a few of it that look like you will not let you in that door and shit like that, because that little light in you will shine, bro, and motherfuckers gonna see that. Even if you keeping it real, bro, you keeping a thou out, bro. So that's another thing, you know what I'm saying? I can't just say, oh, we all good in the hood type shit, but you still have to watch out for your own kind type shit, you know what I'm saying? You still gotta watch out for them kind, bro. And they at the highest level on the entertainment scale. That's just the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro. Like I said, I watch everybody, bro. From the time I was little to the time I was growing up. And it's weird because race wasn't really prevalent to me as a kid. But when you get older, adults around the world, like Mr. White said, like Charleston White said, I cater to the adults. You know what I'm saying? When you're a kid, they take advantage of that shit. They take advantage of all that. And then they put that shit in your face and shit, bro. So it's really the adults' fault, bro. But you gotta look out the systemic history of everything. Yeah, the systemic racism, of course, but everything. And then you gotta realize, white folks were lied to all their lives too. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, read or watch the Bacon's Rebellion, bro. But yeah, bro, y'all gotta give niggas a break, man. Shit, bro, that man. And I shared that video up and down, bro. And you know what's funny? You know, I even called my mom, told her like, you know, I'm not half Hispanic. I was basically telling her I denied being half Hispanic. I'm a full nigga. My granny's from Arkansas. She was a sharecropper. She migrated up north with her family. Chicago, lived in the projects. So from sharecropping in the South, the blackest part of the South, all the way up to Chicago in that time, living in some brick concrete projects. And she's watched the transition of things go on, you know what I'm saying? How it became, you know, how it started to escalate, how things were starting to build up with the violence and gangs and territories and all that shit, bro. Beefs and shit, bro. Which ties into what's going on today, these hip hop niggas, bro. Um, all that shit, bro. But that's probably another video, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I might do a part two. I might do a nigga chronicles. I don't know. But yeah, bro. Everybody gets to support each other, you know what I'm saying? Even black people. But where's the nigga support? I support all niggas that's trying to do well in the world. That's trying to support their families. That's trying to build homes, houses. That's trying to learn how to hunt. That's trying to learn how to build. Learn how to count again. Learn how to read again. Learn how to study again. You know, learn how to do this and that. Learn how to swim. Learn how to hunt in the waters, nigga. All that shit. Everything nigga, bro. Everything nigga. The Mississippi niggas, they way ahead of their time. And Louisiana niggas, they way ahead of their time, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you know, there's a lot of fucked up shit that's going on in Mississippi. But them Florida niggas, they are way ahead of their time, bro. Them niggas, bro. Country niggas, bro. Them is just country niggas. You know, yeah, I told my mom, like, she said, well, you can't deny you're half Hispanic, Puerto Rican. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. But clearly I'm black, you can see. You know, I got curly hair, bro. I got 4C hair, bro. I got that type of shit going on right now, bro. But I think it's gonna take the nation of niggas to rebuild their own community, bro. A nigga community, bro. Niggas gonna have to build their own community, relearn everything, reestablish everything, bro. Teach your kids how to hunt, war tactics, fix tractors, bro. Everything, bro. How to fight, bro. How to negotiate with the power of discernment. All that shit, bro. I'm telling you. You know, everything, bro. And the state of Chicago, matter of fact, the state of America, bro. The state of America and its niggas, bro. What's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to be left alone to make money, bro. Hustle. You know, people focusing their beef on people focusing their beef on niggas and shit, bro. Black people, bro. People worried about wars, bro. We ain't worried about that shit, bro. We got nigga shit going on, bro. There's too much shit out here. There's too much money out here. There's too much knowledge out here. There's too much. There's low key a lot of good shit out here that's so much good shit out here. People are just wanting to ignore that shit and focus on the dark shit that's going on out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, bro. You know, and back to Chicago and shit. It's just crazy, bro. For them to send in the National Guards, bro. Which has nothing to do with black people. They've been sending the National Guard since I can only remember. Probably when the last time they sent the National Guard to Chicago like that. I think this is back when Barack Obama was still president. I think maybe, I can't remember. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2012, 2012, 2013. I do remember them sitting in the National Guards and shit. But who's to say, like, okay, let's be, all right, the state of Chicago and its niggas. We're going to talk about the niggas of Chicago and shit right now. But shout out to Chicago because that's my city the whole time. We see all this. And you got to remember, Chicago's a war-torn city. Chirac. Before niggas moved to Chicago, migrated to Chicago, you had a lot of European soldiers that came over from the war, bro. They not only brought in traumatic experiences, but they brought in different kind of military weapons. Old school, but different type of military weapons. Different styles of making bombs and shit. You gotta remember the Italians and the Serbians, they was out there doing that shit, bro. They was learning that shit overseas before they came back over here, bro. And who's to say, now we got niggas in America and niggas in Chicago specifically, the National Guard in touchdown. Who's to say? And then like, I seen that one video where the YNs, bro, these niggas stole a whole military tank in the project. They left a military tank, and these dudes were activating the shit, bro. How these little niggas learn how to y'all little niggas in the hood, bro, driving tanks, bro. They left a whole tank in there. It's gotta be just more turn the key and shit, bro. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of Call of Duty these little Taliban niggas learning how to use, bro. I don't know. Activated a whole military tank in I think that was in Memphis, bro. But in Chicago, who's to say they ain't gonna drop off weapons like they normally do, bro? Remember, we all been in them alleyways where we just found a crate of guns. I don't know where them train stops. Back of the train. You know what's so crazy too? I got a buddy that I was working with out there in Missouri, bro. He travels to Chicago and all these different places. Shout out to Jeff. YouTube influencers. That's his shit or whatever. His videos. And he would show me videos and bring back so much equipment. You know this dude would find old war bombs, guns, bullets, all this shit in Chicago, bro. Last 2024, bro, he had a whole bomb and he had guns and shit, bro. That because he does metal detectors and he goes fishing. He finds equipment. He finds unique things. He makes money off of it, and sometimes he collects some of it. But who's to say, you know what I'm saying, that them weapons and all that shit that he had wasn't from back when Chicago was going through his gang wars and shit with the Europeans that got kicked out of their country or was going through a warlike situation, came to the Americas, went to Chicago, or the soldiers or the men that were situated, finally got situated in Chicago, and a lot of them had to go back to war, left out of Chicago to go back to their home countries or go back to whatever home countries the war was at, came back with more weapons. And then you got to think about the gangs that were going on. Yeah, bro, ditch the crown, bro, finna ditch this gun and throw it in the lake. You know how many old school mob guns is in the Lake Chicago right now? And my buddy was just finding a bunch of them. He went to Harvard. He found a few of them in the lake, bro, in the waters and shit. He found some bombs and shit. Who's to say that the National Guard won't drop off guns in these neighborhoods, bro? Let's see if they can put switches on Desert Eagles. Let's see if they can put switches on this. Let's see if they can put switches. Who's to say, bro? I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro. Who's to say the military won't leave certain equipment in the hood? They did in Afghanistan. Biden told the military service to leave Afghanistan. Remember, they left 1,000 tanks. They left 1,000 guns. Brand new shit. $1 billion worth of weapons, drones and all, bro. Armory. They left a bulletproof vest, armor. They left everything in Afghanistan. Brand new weapon military shit. And even though Afghanistan, well, they in the Middle East, bro. They do business with everybody, bro. They like to say we're at war with everybody, but who's to say they're not making trades and getting like on some war dog type shit? These motherfuckers out here. And you know what's funny? And when our military service left Afghanistan and they left all those weapons there and shit, they showed a week later or the next day later or something like that these young kids were activating these military tanks and shit like the little niggas in Memphis was. They was riding around these military tanks, untrained and shit, and they were just shooting off guns and shit. Like, they're happy or whatever. They finally got these weapons or whatever. But all the military weapons we left back in Afghanistan about 2, 3, 4 years ago, I can't remember which year it was. That was for trade and goods, bro. Some of that shit was to break some of them weapons down and see how America makes the weapons, bro. You think them Russians ain't doing business deals? Them Cubans, the Soviet, all them niggas, bro. All them niggas over there, bro. You think they ain't training with China, bro? When we left them weapons there, oh yeah, America left all the weapons there back so many years ago. And what when we left Afghanistan 4 years ago, 2020, 2021, something like that. You think other countries didn't come up to Afghanistan? Hey, look, we got trading goods. We want to see these what these military weapons is like. The American, we want to break them down, see what we can get. How the elements, everything. It's the same thing, bro. When I used to study nuclear weapons in high school, you break down chemicals and elements and the atoms and what cause these things to spark, bro. You think the National Guard ain't gonna drop off these weapons for half of Chicago to have guns and shit? Probably just an excuse to go to war with niggas, but probably not even that. I mean, the streets is dead. Yes, it is. But you still got a lot of niggas in Chicago. Yes, bro. Dead ass, man. I'm so serious right now, bro. Who's to say they ain't leaving all these weapons in Chicago for them niggas to get, bro? They used to leave them in the alleyways. They used to leave them on trains, in the trunks. They used to throw them on the ground. My dad said before he used to wake up in the morning, he used to put his shit behind a trash can and shit. That's how you can find all your weapons and shit, bro. Crates of guns and shit. Now imagine if the military leaves all those weapons there, just start throwing weapons anywhere, hideout places and shit. And we already got police officers that used to do that shit. Who's to say like the police officers ain't gonna do? And I heard, and you know, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but I heard that the police department's having problems with the different military services up there. You know, he sent the National Guard up there. They already had other military men up there. He sent another load of military men up there. You know, and the police departments is colliding heads with these niggas, bro. Chicago PD, these niggas, it's the same shit you see in these series, but this is real life war shit. You gotta remember, this is still war, bro. Whether it's on TV, whether our most influential people that come out of Chicago glorify this shit. Oh, these niggas, y'all talking about y'all go to war, y'all talking about shit, y'all da. I always shit on Chicago, talking shit about Chicago. Oh, and people warn Chicago, but y'all gotta think about it at the end of the day. From on the outside level, just glorify it. But you gotta think about it. It's still war, bro. Except it's here at home. War is home, bro. That don't even sound right. This shit's real, bro. It's here. That's the only difference. Chirac, Chicago, Siberia, whatever you want to call it. Windy City, or whatever you want to call it, bro. And they said that Trump was talking about using Chicago as a training base, bro. I mean, it looks just like it looks like Syria already, bro. Some parts of Chicago look like Russia already, bro. Go in some of them black neighborhoods, bro. Go in some of them nigga neighborhoods, bro. Some of them places half those places still look like the ghetto versions of Europe way back in the century days. Never seen when the Jews left Poland, when the Jews left the ghettos of Europe, how badly it was built and how it was tore up from getting shot at and people not building these places correctly for them, living in the slums. That's what half of Chicago looks like. It looks like the slums of Europe, bro. Even though half the architect is based off European architect, when the Germans and the Italians and the Polish and the Serbians, they built it the same way home was built. They built Chicago how home was built. They built Chicago how home was built back in old slummy Europe. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing but generation and energy, 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 bro. A lot of these little niggas, they ain't out here just to be killing some ignorant shit. A lot of them got that warlike blood energy that's been spilt and shedded all over the concrete cold grounds of Chicago for ancient years, bro. You got to think about that shit, bro. That shit's really real, bro. Yeah, we're gonna use Chicago as a training ground, like it's Call of Duty or some shit. Man, Chicago been Call of Duty, bro. Niggas was sniping people out of the high-rise buildings back in the early 90s, 2000s, bro. Crazy work, bro. Man. So like I said, who's to say they ain't gonna drop off these guns out there in Chicago? They might not hurt nobody, but they still gonna drop off a lot of guns and a lot of drugs. Who's to say, bro? They might scope out a few neighborhoods, drop out a bunch of guns everywhere where people really can't see it, but some people will find it and shit, and dip the shit out of Chicago. I'm telling you, bro. What other place in the world are you gonna get like a warlike people, a warlike territory, and the idea and the images that you can keep saving in your head till it's really time to go to war and go back overseas? Oh, we was in Chicago, man. This ain't shit, man. We just basically stealing them niggas thunder type shit. Basically, bro. And then it could be with the whole Venezuelan thing, the whole situation. You know, they got the Venezuelans who were, and then you gotta also think about it like this too. If niggas would have got along with Venezuelans, who's to say like they wouldn't have a connection with the cartel? They wouldn't build that relate between Chicago niggas and Venezuelan young niggas, bro. If they would have built that connection with each other and the higher ups, the old heads, who's to say they would have been an empire that can't be stopped because they can't stop Mexico, bro. I'm not gonna get into the whole cartel shit. Don't let me go there, bro. I was up there in Iowa talking to my shorty's dad. He said, "Yeah, man, the cartel they go right through Iowa, small town to get to Chicago. They drop off a boatload of drugs and guns and shit." He said he seen it happen. There's a way they go through. They go through Iowa. Once they leave Iowa, they go straight to Chicago, bro. Who's to say the niggas ain't gonna build a relationship, wasn't gonna build a relationship with the Venezuelans like they do with the Mexicans, bro? They've been doing this for years, bro. For years, bro. And Trump, I ain't gonna lie, and it seems so strategic, but I'm pretty sure he was like, well, I don't want them to build a relationship. They all hate each other right now. They're dealing with each other. But I don't want them to get accustomed to each other where they're getting along. They're going to start building an empire and build a pipeline. Venezuela, Mexico, Haiti, all these places to get drugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for marijuana. Trust me, bro. I ain't all for that fentanyl shit, though. I don't fuck with that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot behind this shit. I can't really get deep, so I don't know that much in life till we get that far. But there's a lot behind situations that could have been happening, going on, or whatever the case may be, bro. You know what I'm saying? So with the Venezuelans being in there in Chicago and kind of getting accustomed to it, and, you know, being around their family, their cousins that's been there already, the Colombians, the Mexicans, all that shit, the niggas and shit. They know how to get back and forth from Chicago to Colombia now, through Mexico. A pipeline. They know how to do that shit now, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, just, man, bro, it's a lot to this shit, bro. There's a lot to this shit. A lot, bro. It was one thing back in the day letting a white man work with the Hispanics back then. You know, the government and all that shit, bringing drugs in our country. But it's another when you let niggas get involved. Because you know, the shit between the niggas and the white man, and then the cut man, the middle man, you know. The chance, hey, bro, we all know, bro. If you a nigga getting money, you making them type of sales like that, the feds gonna watch you, bro. They ain't worried about nigga. They ain't got shit because they ain't got no money. They ain't got shit to worry about. What, a few sack of pills here and there. Not even pills. A few sack of weed bags and shit. Couple pounds. That ain't shit. They want the real deal shit, bro. They want the niggas that got the money, bro. That's what it's coming down to, bro. That's what I mean. That's what. And I kind of got that from Pops, but it makes sense though. You ever notice like they don't really crack down on niggas that look like they ain't got shit. But it's always that one nigga, you know what I'm saying, they got that shit. And he's, if you riding like that, what? Oh, bet. Oh, he got it like that? Oh, bet, okay. You making more money than us? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Minding his own business, trying to make his own little money, make his own little dough, bro. You know what I'm saying? They been brought drugs here in America. It wasn't just the black man. They put everything on the black man, bro. I'm telling you, they put everything on the black man. Everything on the black man. The shit's been happening, bro. The niggas been in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, bro. You know, you got so much shit going on. You know, Texas, Chicago, Mississippi, Florida, California, New York. You got a lot of shit going on, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah, bro. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, that's just my take on the state of America and its niggas, bro. American niggas, bro. Or the niggas of America, bro. The niggas of American nation, bro. Nigga independence. The Declaration of Nigga Independence or some shit, you know. I didn't really get too deep into much right now, bro. That's just, you know, it's just so much shit going on. The National Guard in Chicago. The whole situation with dude getting shot. Just everything, bro. Everything. Spiritual warfare, physical warfare. People getting tired of each other. Each race is getting tired of each other to the point where, like, okay, some was willing to go to war, but some was just like, yeah, it's not even worth it, bro. We might as well just deal with it, bro. You know. And then, and it's crazy because I really don't care too much about what's going on overseas. But look at Ireland, look at UK, look at Scotland, look at Welsh. All them black and brown people over there, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's, man, growing up, bro, seeing shit on TV, bro. Even in the 2015, 16 and shit like that. A lot of the places were cleaning up to par, bro. I've always wanted to visit Europe, but I can't even do that because they probably think I'm India and some shit, bro. I ain't trying to put anybody down, but you know. But what do you do if your government says, well, white people, you're not making any babies, you're not working any jobs, a lot of y'all on welfare, stamps and shit. Your kids are moving out the country, wanting to see more, do more. Why not let these immigrants in, bro? Why not let these migrants in, bro? So now you got like Al Jazeera News, BBC News. You see all this war shit going on over in Europe with these black and brown migrants. And I got a video of it was funny because I put it on Facebook. He had like 1,000 Africans that popped up over in Sicily, southern Italy. And if anybody knows history, if you know, you know, bro. I said, oh shit, the Moors are back. Remember when when black men took over Italy for 500 years, they built all of Italy like the slaves did over here in America. They built all of Italy. They built the marbles. They taught Europeans how to clean, how to bathe themselves. They taught them how to build blueprints. They taught them blueprints and shit like that. When the Moors invaded Italy, bro, I studied this shit right after high school. A lot of shit they're not going to teach you in school. They teach you about slavery. Bow down, master. Yes, sir. And then I seen that video, bro, a couple of days ago when you had like 1,000 Africans and shit, different kind of black folks, Africans or whatever. They popped up in Sicily, bro. They on the border of Italy, bro. I said, oh shit, they go to Moors again, bro. The Moors are back. And what happened back way back? For 400 or 500 years, the Moors took over Italy and built Italy, bro. The architect, marble floors, spices, rum, herbs, mathematics, hygiene, cleanse, religion. Yeah. That's what started the Ouija board. The Moors. Santeria. All that shit. Latin, African, all that shit, bro. I was, and it's crazy because right after high school, I learned about this. I'm like, who the fuck are the Moors? They took over Italy. That's why you got so many. Nowadays, you don't see too many of them, but that's why you got so many brown and tan, a little bit of black looking Italians. You know, what they used to call Italians, guineas. Dark skinned people. Dark skin hair, black blood, bro. So yeah, you got that shit going on. The Moors is taking over again, bro. Except for they ain't riding on horses and boats. They walking over now, bro. They didn't build so much infrastructure. You can walk over to each country over in Europe, bro. But yeah, man. The Moors are back too, bro. You got a lot of people coming back to, you know, I see a lot of people in Europe mad about it, but you got the whole situation with Italy. But then you got the whole thing with Russia where Putin opened up a vault full of black Christians, you know, like, not Christians, but you had a black Jesus, baby Jesus. You had Mary, black Mary. You had all his apostles and angels. They were all dark skinned, brown or black, bro. He opened up a vault and people got pissed about that shit. Because for years, they painted y'all a white Jesus, a white angels. And my thing is, like I said, I'm not trying to talk about race, though. If the angels in heaven are white, how come the so-called angels down here that look white ain't angels? I don't act like angels. I'm just saying, bro. You see all this shit going on, this war shit going on. I'm just saying. But Putin opened up a vault full of black apostles and black Jesuses and black disciples and black angels and shit, bro. He opened up a whole vault, ancient black artifacts, bro. This is some brand new shit. So, man, I don't know, bro. Niggas gonna be niggas at the end of the day, bro. Maybe we just a unique kind, bro. But there's some shit going on. There's some shit we don't know. There's a uniqueness to us or some shit. I don't know, bro. But that's not to take away from anybody else. But everybody uplift each other and praise each other. Hell, they rewrote each other's history and it kept us out of it. So we have to do our own history. Original history was there. Whitewash history showed up. Other people's history just showed up. Mind you, the whole time, black folks' history, we writing our own history. So we got shit piled on top of shit, on top of shit, on top of shit. So, but yeah, man, that's just my take on everything. So, y'all let me know in the comments or anything. You know, I don't care if you're racist. I don't care if you're prejudiced. I don't care if you're nigga. I don't care if you're an alien. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're a female. I don't care what you are, bro. I don't care what you are, man. Just, you know, like, subscribe, and share. But yeah. And if you want to, talk about your community too. Your community too. What's going on in your community? How do you feel about your situation? You know what I'm saying? I can only get so deep and far how I feel and what I think and my view and some of the shit I experienced. But that's just me though. So, but I love y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna probably do another video soon. So, deuces.